I'm not sure how to start these. I think I want to do a lot of everything here. I wouldn't call this a mission statement or anything like that, but while I have a platform to speak, it is my right to cover it how I want. I think today I'm just going to do a bit of freeform exposition and see how that pans out. I understand that there's a chance nobody will hear this, although I think that's a slim one at best. I also have to forgive myself, and I hope you forgive me for the long pauses. I think a lot when I'm talking, without a script, that is. It's hard to find the right words sometimes. I think we'll all find that the case, especially when you're just putting yourself out there, as it were. Um, I think these things are important to talk about, though, so here we are. It seems every day there is some kind of new catastrophe in the world. Like, we're on the brink of World War III or Civil War II for those of you who live in America. We're dealing with the advent of artificial intelligence and the prospect of UFOs, UAPs, or whatever it is they call them these days. All while arguing over whose team is better or whose leader is best, when those same people can barely afford bread or gasoline from day to day, week to week, or month to month. There is some saying or political cartoon of a prisoner reaching for bread instead of keys. And the mimetic essence of it is, oh, if you know why they're reaching for the bread, then you can understand most of society. And the point is this: if you're worried about survival, you're not going to really worry about what's being done to your capacity to live. I think that is the crux of all the things I want to talk about. I think it's the reason that we need comedy in the world. It's why we need seriousness. It's why we need everything else. I think, in some regard, a lot of us, if not all of us, are being taken advantage of in some way. In some, it's more direct than others, but in essence, you're being made to argue with your neighbor over something that doesn't really matter to either of you. I think that is, in essence, the modern world. If not the world entire, then at least the Western world. Our attention spans are cut down so hard by social media and, well, YouTube and everything else that we don't really think. We don't think about the implications because we're so focused on that little hit of dopamine or bread that we are entirely distracted as to what it does to us. This is significant, and not just to me. We use dating apps and social media to sell ourselves out to the world and to other people, hoping that they will like this curated form or version of us. They hope, we hope, that we'll be accepted in some way. And maybe you'll strike it rich or get some companionship from it, soon to discover that those people were only really there for the bite-sized little bit of information that they would discard as quickly as some reel in some social media app. And intrinsically, deep down, I think we all know this to be the case. People aren't so genuine anymore. We're really lacking in that. And I cannot promise to anyone who's watching out there that that is always going to be me, but I hope in this instance what I mean does come across. It can be a dark world if you let it. Sorry, I lost my place and some of my train of thought. Still learning how to do this whole internet thing. And this will not be as designed as my intro video, though I hope to include it in some way. Excuse me. There are times when it is appropriate to joke. There are times when it's appropriate to be serious, and I, for the life of me, seem to flip-flop between the two more than often. Might throw some people off, I think, so bear with me. I'm sure I'll joke a bit here. Maybe I won't. No, I get the sense that a lot of us are on the same page and we just don't say it. I think that's important. I think it's important that we recognize that a lot of us are going through the same kind of things. Like, maybe you're struggling with making rent, or maybe you're just struggling with the fact that it seems like communicating with most people is beyond dull because they don't want to talk about the important things. Like, why are we doing what we do? Or, why are we here? I don't hear too many people talk about that out in public. Or in private. They seem to be focused on the next episode of whatever you want to call it. Some TV show, some Star Wars movie. It's enough to drive someone crazy. Sometimes. I think I want to do these little monologues every once in a while when I can, because well, giving a stream of consciousness about a subject, I think, holds a truth about it that maybe something a little bit more curated doesn't. A general feeling rather than entire factual information. Because believe it or not, everyone, no matter how rational they like to think they are, they make decisions based off of how they feel. Because we are irrational creatures, human beings. I think rattling off credentials is stupid in general, but for the context of this talk, it makes sense to say, look, my background is in psychology. I kind of understand a little bit. Probably not more than your average person, but some university somewhere thinks I do. It's strange. It is strange how much credence we give to certificates and things like that. As if a piece of paper makes a person's brain cells or IQ increase. As if an institutional award somehow makes you more qualified to be a person or to have an opinion. It doesn't, because there are tons of people with the same degrees or military qualifications or whatever you want to call it as I do that are dumb as rocks. And frankly, they shouldn't be anywhere near a microphone. I'm not saying I have any more right than them, but I will say I think I consider things a little bit more than a lot of them. The modern world beats us down almost every day, and we keep going. I don't think I don't think you pat yourself on the back enough for that, friend. Um, Also, I realize I don't look at the camera too often. I think it's inhuman, so it's hard to look at it. I know down the road that means I would be looking someone watching this in the eyes, but I prefer to talk to myself if I can. At least there's a person there. And this kind of gets at the root of what I'm talking about. It's that we set up these things to reach what? An audience of cameras? No. Um, this is for people. In this case, it's more of a personal journal for me, but if somebody picks it up and they like it, well, it's for people. I'm not here to talk to cameras. And I think that is important. We're so busy thinking about TV and video games and the next dating app that we have stopped making music and art and everything for fear that AI will take it over and it is meaningless to do. But I'm telling you, you should create something. You should make something. You should talk about something. You should have some expertise in some field because it's good for you. It's good for you to have that. Don't buy into that bullshit that tells you, oh, some robot's gonna take care of that job one day, because that's not true. And even if it is, you don't want to be a part of that world. I know I don't. There's more going on here than we see, and we know that, even if we can't prove it. I think then we should hold that idea tight. The world, reality, whatever you want to call it, is more than just what you see and what you hear and what you taste and touch. Because all these things can be simulated. They really can. Like, they talked about that in The Matrix in 1999. And before that, thousands of years before, Plato's allegory of the cave. Like, everything can be simulated physically. It's just a pale imitation of what could be or what is. And you're more than that. We are more than that. That's the truth. You know it, I know it. But for some reason, we spend so much time talking about credit scores and what car you drive and how much you have in the bank. These things don't matter. Your friends matter, your family matters, people matter. But not that stuff. And in fact, if you really think about it, you're doing that all for the opinions of people. And those opinions from those people who care about those things are not worth all that much. I promise you. Those people are lost, and if they are worth your time, It is not in that way. But I've gone on long enough for today. I hope you have a good morning, evening, or night, depending on when you're watching this. And keep your head up. There's good in the world, and it's worth hanging on to. That's all I got. Peace.